As I say, every single week, we obviously always do a debate as the last part of the podcast. And I want to give a shout out to Jake, who gave us the idea for this week. It's an absolutely unreal idea. We're going to be going through our teams. We're doing our underrated 11 of the Premier League. We've done 4-3-3. We've all gone. We've actually not looked at each other's teams.
No, we have no
So you are
idea.
going to see the live reactions. And I don't know how similar we're all going to be. Obviously, we all look at football different ways.
I bet that it's not similar at all.
I don't
any
think
of them.
I don't think we'll have many players who are the same, but it's going to be fun. But shout out to you, Jake. And if anyone else wants us to do any other topics, any other debates, leave them in the comment section below. This is just proof that I do actually read them. I always say I do, but yeah. Shout out to Jake. Who wants to go first with their goalkeeper?
I think you can go first because you are a goalie.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? Every week we forget to mention that when we did a goalkeeper debate episode.
You
And I
didn't
never mentioned that you were a goalkeeper.
Until the very end, I think.
They all have switched off by then. They'd have heard my top 5 and switched off instantly.
Not surprised. But Sanchez 5. Anyway, my underrated.
Sanchez.
No, absolutely not. I've gone Fabianski.
I'll join him straight away.
Thank you.
Flapianski.
Yeah, mate, he's improved. Since his Arsenal days, he's improved
He was
tenfold.
Fabianski at Arsenal when
He's
he
so
was
consistent
Chesney's
now.
backup.
Yeah.
But he's just been
So
very,
consistent.
very good for West Ham.
I think he's a bit of a leader there.
What are you pulling faces
Yeah.
at?
You know where you're
I
going
don't
from,
rate
but
him
he's
at
a
all.
good mate, some good shot stopper.
I'm
You know
with
he's number one.
Fabianski.
But I think
Yeah.
this is it comes back to my ideology now of the new goalkeeper. I want a keeper to do everything.
He doesn't have to in a month.
No, I get that, but
He suits the team he plays in
Yeah,
as well.
no,
don't get me
he
wrong,
does,
but,
yeah.
and he'll suit the team for me as well. He'll suit my team.
it's you've
It's
gone
my
really
team.
tactical. I've
Yeah,
got
I always do. I
team-
always make a team.
Nah,
My team will not work at all together.
See, I think you always miss a trick there. You have to make a team that works.
Okay, I was hoping you two wouldn't. No, you two are going to be ganging up. I can feel the pressure on this one.
Well done, Mike. Good choice, mate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so my
Clearly,
goalkeeper.
I know keepers like you.
You know, glove.
You glove. I know. You know glove. I like that. So my most underrated goalkeeper in the Premier League is Meslier, and I think Meslier is so good. What he's doing, he's so young as well.
Is he?
He's so good with the ball. The amount of saves he's made, he's kept Leeds in so many games. And I genuinely think he's been a huge part in the reason why Leeds have stayed up this season, because the amount of his goal is constantly peppered with that Leeds defence, and he's so confident. And
they concede about 3 a game.
yeah, but but the amount of
You
saves
think he
he's
look?
making.
Yeah, because he has faced so many shots.
No, I get that, but then
And his shots to save percentage isn't very high either. With how many shots he faced?
Even his distribution. I'm all
Distribution's
about his
good.
distribution. That's why I like him. He's definitely a modern day keeper, and he's made mistakes where he's tried to, like, for example, like Cruyff turn a striker and things like that, and he carries on. He's got the confidence to keep going, and at the age he is, he's so
21?
young. Yeah, he's 21, and to be at that level already, I think he's clinically, criminally underrated.
I read a stat that I think he is the youngest keeper to have 50 Premier League starts.
Yeah. And he isn't discussed enough. And honestly, I'm annoyed at myself that I
I
didn't
don't
make him in
think
my
there's a
top
lot
5.
to discuss personally.
I personally
he's
think-
average.
I think he's okay.
If I did my top
the
5
problem is when
goalkeepers
you're
again-
21 and you're a goalie, you've got so much left to learn, like so much ahead of you.
But the fact he's starting every week already,
Yeah,
and
he'll
he
be
looks-
benefiting him.
and he
I
looks
just-
good.
I think he's all right.
But he probably concedes. Is how many goals Leeds conceded? Second
Oh,
or third most
dreadful.
most of the Premier.
Yeah, but
It's
I don't
hard to
think-
include a keeper who's conceded that many goals.
Yeah, but whatever keeper plays in that Leeds side, I think you could put anyone there. You could put Alisson in there, and he'd still concede. He'd probably concede less, obviously.
I
But
was going to say where
he'd
you're going to go with
concede.
that point there.
They'll still concede a lot because it's the way they play. They leave him so vulnerable, and I think he has kept them in so many games throughout this season where I've watched them and gone, do you know what? They've got a result because of him.
I've just thought of the question going back to our keeper. Obviously, you don't rate Flapianski.
No,
But as West Ham have been linked with him, would you rather Fabianski or Sam Johnston?
I'd take anyone over Sam Johnston. I'd take Sai over Sam Johnston. So yes,
I don't know.
no,
It's even drop on Sunday.
I'd take Fabianski. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But the thing, my point is with Fabianski, I get he's a great goalkeeper, but my ideology now as a goalkeeper, I want a goalkeeper to do everything. I like the modern day keeper, and I can see where it's going. But I completely agree with you. He's a great goalkeeper, but with a keeper now, I want them to do everything.
I think Fabianski's been doing what he's been doing for years and years now, and that's why he's underrated because he's just so consistent.
Yeah.
He is consistent, yeah.
Yeah, consistently average. Well, yeah, that's fine. I think we can.
We
agree
can't
on
be
that.
consistent.
Meslier is consistently below average.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Above average in goals conceded.
Oh, here we go. I knew this is
Next position.
Okay. Let's move on to our right backs. Okay, then, Mike, do you want to go first
What?
this time?
See, I've struggled with the defence a bit, so my defence is a bit out there.
Just say it with chest. Who is your most underrated right back in the Premier League?
So he's kind of a right back, and kind of.
Sorry, where are we going now?
He's played right back.
Just say it.
John Stones.
Okay.
He's played right back,
That's not where
He
I
has
thought
played
you were
right back, I
He
guess,
has,
yeah.
and I think he's underrated. There we go.
I really want to know your centre backs. I really want to know your centre backs are now that you couldn't put him at centre backs. But
Do you just want to do say back fours?
No, I couldn't think of any other right back.
do you want to do your entire back four?
Just do
then,
back
actually?
fours, yeah.
No, I think we go one by one.
Okay.
Fine.
Mike's setting the rules. So okay.
Oh, yeah. I just think Stones he's got a lot of stick, and I don't really know why. He's slotted into a City team, won everything he can win. He plays out better than any defender I can remember, really.
Any defender.
Any defender.
Ever.
Who passes the ball as good as John Stones?
Van Dijk.
Cody.
Laporte. Cody. For a second, I actually thought you meant that. Please don't say you believe that. Surely not.
Nah, probably not.
No, Van Dijk's long passing, yeah, but the way Stones keeps the ball and moves it and keeps things ticking.
That's a bold shout. I'd personally say I'd say Laporte's a better passer than him as well.
I don't think you could call someone who costs 50 mil underrated.
It's not about price tag, it's about...
But he's obviously rated fairly highly if he's costing that sort of money.
I just couldn't think for right back.
You're gonna hate some of my players, and if we're talking about price tags,
There we go. I've struggled with defence. The rest of them, I think, I've done quite well. The defence was a bit difficult.
Okay, we'll let you have John Stones. Questionable. We'll let the listeners decide whether they. I think it's an odd one. I wasn't expecting it.
Why do you think it's odd?
Just because he's not a right back. That's the only reason why.
Has he played right back for Man City?
He has played right back, but that's just surprised me. I just didn't expect to be John Stones.
I mean, I thought a few years ago John Stones was one of the most overrated centre halves in the Prem. A few years ago, because he was mistake prone, left, right, and centre. He's
to look more
improved
assured
last
now,
2
yeah.
years. Don't get me wrong.
But I think it helps now. He's not playing with. I don't think these two play together, but was it Otamendi?
It was
Otamendi.
Otamendi,
I
yeah.
think it helps so much. He's not playing next to Otamendi.
Demichelis as well.
That was the one I was about to say, and I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if he definitely played with him or not.
Yeah,
I think he
they
did.
did another mad one, didn't they?
I'm trying
Mangala.
He was about 50, like around 50 million mark.
He was
wasn't
32 mil.
Was it 32 million
Yeah.
for Porto? Si, who is your most underrated right back in the Premier League?
So I think people rate him, but not as much as they should do.
Don't say Nelson Samado.
No, I'm not going to say Nelson Samado or Matty Rash. It is Chelsea fans call him Dave Azpilicueta. Absolutely, Azpilicueta for me he should have legendary status at Chelsea. He cost them 7 mil. Been there for years and years. Leader. He's changed positions for them from right back, right to centre half. I just think he's so again really consistent. He's never one of the players you talk about very often at Chelsea.
It's because it's hard to get excited about him.
But that's the thing.
Isn't it mental?
But you know what he gets.
He's over 30 years old, and we're saying he's underrated. Oh, no, that's not a point actually.
I don't think he's I think he's rated. He's not flashy, so he doesn't get headlines. I think everyone knows how good he is.
But I don't think he's appreciated enough. I just think he's absolutely fantastic for them. I think he's done so many great things for Chelsea. He makes that defence. The defence is different without him. Absolutely.
I think it just doesn't help now. We're seeing his legs go, and we're starting to see like the slow demise of him now. And recently, in a few weeks, I've watched him recently where you can see him, wingers taking him on. I just think you just feel sad for him. I don't know if it just might be me. I just feel bad. I just don't think. I sort of get what you're saying.
But he also reads the game really well. But he also knows he's got that cover behind him in the back three, which also obviously helps. But I think he's a great pass. He links up really well between the defence and the midfield. I say leadership. We should have. Everyone knows that's a skill I really rate.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? I can see your point you're making. I just think he's.
I thought about him. I just thought.
I think
he's rated
because he's an international.
He's rated, but I think he's not rated as high as he should be, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Well, there we go.
I want to disregard my point I tried to make, and I backtracked straight away. Over 30, I don't know why that was a point in my head then. As I said it, I realised that was just ridiculous. So I'm just cancelling my little statement there. My right back, I can tell now I was already going to go down. Down like a sack of potatoes or whatever the phrase is, because I've already seen Mike's face. Mine is Nelson Samado.
Oh.
So I didn't want to put Wolves players in, but I think a lot of it was down.
Sick of the Nelson Samado phrase on this podcast. He's
think,
all right.
No, I think
he's better than all right.
I think
is he?
I think he's been very good this season. I think he's improved. I think this under Lager, I think you can see he's improved offensively and defensively. I think defensively was the question marks. I think this season he's been huge for the Wolves, and he's been part of that defence that has been so good, and it's why they've got one of the best defences in the league.
Yeah.
And there was question marks in him last season, and we're seeing a player that they spent the amount of money they did on him, because that's the thing. I think it's just, as well as last week when we spoke about it, the backlash we got for saying Samado, and I honestly think he's underrated. But everyone's opinion saying, "Oh, Matty Cash is twice the player I'll ever be." I think he's criminally underrated, because, as well as the reaction.
I think people still think about last year's Samado. I'm going to not watch this year's Samado. It's a completely different player.
Yeah, and
he's so much improved this year. So I've sung his praises several times now, so I won't repeat myself too much. But I just think he's a brilliant player, and he's a vital cog to Wolves.
Yeah, I know. I can see your reaction. You just sat, just all sad in the middle. But no, I just personally think he's underrated. I think the levels he's gone to this season, he could be in that discussion. He's on the brink of getting towards those top right backs. He's not on that level, but he's just below it at the moment. But yeah, we'll swiftly move on then. Our centre backs, do you want to do both of them straight away? You double,
fine.
or do you want, actually I'll go first this time, because you guys have done.
On.
So my two are Ethan Pinnock at Brentford. I think has been absolute class.
Didn't expect that.
I really liked him in the Championship. I watched a lot of him. Why you guys are so funny? This is exactly
the other
my
one,
point.
Pontus Jansson.
No.
The Leeds legend.
I think Pinnock is exactly, that's my point proven. I think he's really underrated. I think he's a very, very good defender. I think he's been part of a Brentford side which I think has overachieved this season. What they've done has been class. I think he's been huge for them. He's got pace. He's big. He wins a lot in the air. He's got a few goals. I think he's had a very, very solid season for his first season of Premier League, and I think he's been very good, very solid defender. And then the other one is Johnny Evans as my other most underrated centre back. I think he's one of the best centre backs in the league, and I always think he is. I think he's like fine wine. He's just got so much better with age.
I think he's another one who everyone rates him, and that's about it.
But I think he's one of the best centre backs in the league. I honestly do. I think he's so.
I don't
good.
think he is now.
No, I think.
Probably,
but I still think
18 months ago.
Yeah, but I still think he.
I think since his return from injury, he's
not
looked as good as he was before.
He's not looked as good, but you can still see. He can read the game. It's like your Aspilicueta.
Yeah, he can read the game.
He's so good.
Yeah, of course.
I did that. You probably did that then. But yeah, so those are my two most underrated centre backs. Got to be Ethan Pinnock and Johnny Evans. The two of them, I think it's solid.
It's got to be.
It's got to be for me. So
Okay.
you guys go straight in then.
I've gone for Adam Webster and Romain Saiss. Adam Webster,
You dropped size in there as if it was nothing. They went straight back to Webster.
Yeah, so Webster, I think, came in with not much fanfare. No one really knew about him. It cost a lot of money to Brighton from Bristol City, and I think he's consistently been, very dominant in that defence for Brighton. The start of the season, their defence was very good. Didn't concede many goals because him and Dunk were there, and they were doing the business. Since he's got injured, they've been on a terrible run of form, Brighton, and I think that proves how much of a vital player he is and how good he is for Brighton.
I can get behind Webster. I think it's the size thing we're really trying to question.
Not about
here.
that.
Saiss, I was always undecided about for years. This year, he's been so aggressive in winning all the aerial duels, been great covering the left wing back. He can come out with the ball very well, can pick a pass. I just really like him this year. I never thought I would say it because I was one of the players, one of the fans who wasn't sure about him. But I think this year he's really improved.
I think that's your bias shining through. Personally, like I still don't think he's a Premier League centre back.
He's
Morocco
okay
captain.
in that back three. Like,
I
if
don't
you
know
put him
what
in the
to say
back
to that, I can't
put him
really.
in the back four, it would be like destruction. Like it just would never.
Yeah, but
work.
imagine him and Cody in the back four. Jeez.
What's happened last year? No,
he's a squad player at the end of the day. I think.
I think
okay.
this year proved to be more than a squad player.
Just reeks of back three tax to me.
There you go.
Maybe, yeah, but
No, but I get where I do get where you come
I
from.
couldn't think of a someone centre half who was.
No, to be
I
fair,
struggle
underrated.
with the defenders.
Well, in knock a back three, I do get what you're saying. Like he has been, he has been very good. To be fair,
He's no one who's really improved this year for me.
he's been very good, but I still don't think he's underrated, personally. But
That's because you're not watching him as much as I have, so.
Obviously not. And I'm not a Wolves fan, so that.
Move on to Mike.
So initially, I
Where are you going already?
had Matip in there, but I think he is underrated. But I can't justify him in
Now.
this team.
So,
I think he is underrated.
Just for the Premier League player.
but I don't think anymore now because
No.
everyone has been discussing for the
Who
last
was?
6 months
So then
that he's the most.
I'm going to go straight in with one that you'll like, Sam. Craig Dawson.
Ooh,
I
yes.
thought about Craig Dawson.
I think he's been very, very good for West Ham.
I was going to have
He's
Craig Dawson,
been
Johnny Evans.
he's been like the rock of that West Ham defence almost. Like Zuma and Diop have been in and out. The right backs have changed. Cresswell's had injuries, and he's just like ever present,
Ogbonna
always
as well.
consistent. Ogbonna, yeah. He just like you know what you're getting from him, and it's like rock solid, great performance, 7 out of 10 every week.
He's old-fashioned
He's
centre half.
a great foundation to build from.
But you say that he's an old-fashioned. Some of his passings got a lot better. I saw. I know you can take Twitter little highlights as like with a pinch of salt, but against Leon, some of the passes he was finding in that game, he was huge for them. Quite a few balls over the top with 4 hours running in behind. I love Dawson. I will stand by him.
I'm going to go straight with the other. This is just I ran out of ideas.
Can't
So-
say this.
okay.
I'm going to throw Rob Holding in there.
Reeks. Absolutely reeks.
I just want you to say it with chest. Just look right down to the camera.
Rob
lens.
Holding, he's had a great season.
I just want you to say it, just so I can clip you, and just so you can say if you genuinely believe
I couldn't think of any defenders.
your underrated centre back in the Premier League is Rob Holding.
One of them, yeah. I think he's as the great man Arsene Wenger once said. I'm sorry, Rob Holding didn't cost 55 million.
So he was wrong.
He would be sad if he did. Jeez, could you imagine?
I think he's a
You
very
met Harry
solid
Maguire, like a good sign,
Premier.
yeah.
I think he's a very solid Premier League centre half. And when he's had to accept a new role with Ben White coming in, and Arteta brings him in for like the death close-out lineup when we're 1 goal ahead, and he goes to a 5-4-1, and the record as soon as he does that is amazing. He get blocks, body on the line, clearances, wins headers. I've been very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's underrated in the sense of probably one of the best underrated bench warming centre backs for definite.
I can't think of many Premier League sides who have him a centre half
No
starting.
I don't think he'd make it into West Brom's starting 11.
Behave.
I'm just trying to wind you.
League One?
I think. Well,
He might get into
would you have him ahead of
Charlton's.
Mings?
Oh,
Yes.
There you go.
Rob
then.
Holding or
There's
Mings.
another one for
It's
Joe.
definitely Rob Holding.
I don't know about
He would
that.
walk into Villa's defence.
I think so.
That's a very defensive cack.
There we go. You love that word. I love
just-
it. How many times you can get it into an episode? It's brilliant.
I think
Okay,
that was
then
4.
we'll move over to our left backs. What's the one got?
Kukurea.
I've got Kukurea as well.
I went Trippier.
Whoa.
He's a right back.
He's a right.
So, but
you
he-
can't talk. You had Stones at right
Yeah.
back.
Who plays right back?
Trippier plays left back.
He has played left back.
I didn't know that.
He has played.
Play
left
for England as well.
Are we doing in England?
Well, no, I'm just
No,
putting that in there for you.
No, yeah. I don't know how
He
to
only
respond
played
to
about
that.
5 games, didn't
Yeah.
Hey, Trippier.
he? Yeah.
I just think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he-
For 5 games.
No, but it's not just that. Not to bring it back to England, but I think he's dismissed so quickly. Like, we talk about our best right backs, and everyone's right back. It's either Walker, Trent, or
because
James.
he's not on their level. Though. Trippier is nowhere
No.
near them.
But Trippier, I think he's brilliant.
I think he's brilliant.
Defensively, fantastic. Balls into the box, fantastic.
I think he's in that. I think Trippier is in that next category of right backs with the likes
the
of
Samado
Yeah.
level.
That next bring. I don't think he's anywhere near Reece James.
Thomas.
So you can also see
Walker.
what he's done.
Even Tommy Asu in that.
But you can see what he's done to Newcastle. How much he improved them when he was
He
playing.
did, yeah.
Also, when he went, they carried on winning. Their form didn't drop off as soon as he was injured. They carried on that winning.
No,
run.
they lost a few ones initially when he.
But then they
came
carried
on.
on their run. Like it didn't
It's
hinder them
not
where they.
just him.
It wasn't just
Yeah.
yeah. That's-
Kukurea's been top
Kukurea,
drawer all
yeah.
season.
and great hair.
Lovely hair.
Great hair.
Great hair. Yeah, but we all knew he was going to be a player. Like when you've again Twitter highlights and things like that, and what you've read about him, we all knew what he was doing in the Spanish league. Very good on the ball. He's perfect for what Brighton is. Like he's so good going forward. And my questions was defensively, but I thought especially
He's been
against
good.
you, there was a couple of times where back post he was winning headers and things, and that side of him I didn't know whether he would be there or not. Would he be like a Lamptey in the sense of it's more of an attacking fullback, whereas I think Kukurea's slotted in so well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think he was signed at the point he was, you'd think he's been there for years because he's just slotted into Premier League football so well. I love him. He's a very good footballer. So composed. For a defender, he's got way too much confidence on the ball. Like, he should not
It's very
be allowed.
Spanish, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. He's just so casual.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I think, is there any other points you want to add to it?
No, great hair.
Great hair. Yeah, great hair. What he does with that headband, I don't know how it stays in. Like, it's yeah, it's amazing. Okay, then, so we went for a 4-3-3 formation. Do you want to just, like, smash out all three midfielders in one go?
Yeah, I'll go if you want. I went Højbjerg.
Oh, for
no.
God's sake. That absolutely stinks.
I'll let you take this one because you're the
Do you
Arsenal
want him
fan.
over two first or not?
Oh, is it Harry Winks and Lo Celso?
This Celso's not in the Premier League anymore.
I was going to say. Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse and Kouyaté.
I can't believe you said...
Sorry, Kouyaté?
I've got
Yeah, Kouyaté.
I've got
So Sam's in the wrong.
I've got Kouyaté.
Yeah.
Kouyaté?
I think,
Absolute beast of a bloke.
I think he's class.
Yeah.
He's played centre back like loads as well.
You can play two positions
exactly.
in the spine.
Could drop in alongside Rob Holding.
Fair enough. If that's what.
Dominant figure. He bosses that midfield for Palace. Can drive forwards with it as well. Like
My three are Kouyaté, Klitsch, and the person Spurs should have signed instead of Højbjerg, Romeo, because he's
I thought
twice
of
the
him.
player that Højbjerg is.
no, I
Romeo was in
thought
mine.
of him and I chose not. I chose Højbjerg.
I think Romeo is one of the best holding midfielders in the league. He is so good. Honestly, when you watch him play, I think it was. I've watched it so many games now at Southampton, just specifically to watch him. What he does with the ball is so good.
See, I think he's a crab. He either goes backwards or sideways. He doesn't ever go
Oh, no.
forwards.
What do you think Højbjerg does?
He breaks up playing, plays it forwards to Harry Kane or
Doesn't
Son.
play. I've never seen
does.
Højbjerg play the ball forwards.
Does.
He can't. He actually physically can't.
And I think Spurs midfield without
Romeo's a
Højbjerg
better
is
passer.
awful.
He's a better defender. He's stronger.
And Romeo's got. Well, he scored that goal against Norwich. Like he popped up with the goal.
He hardly ever scores. Romeo.
scored.
He
He
hardly
scored
ever
against Norwich.
scores.
And
I
he
mean,
was a
probably
great
doesn't
goal.
score much either, to be fair.
It was a great volley against Norwich. I can't believe Kouyaté is alongside Romeo. So mine is.
Imagine a 50-50 between Kouyaté and Romeo. That's a big
Big
50-50,
challenge.
that is.
That's vile though. Can you imagine that?
The noise.
So my midfield three is Shelvey.
Oh, that stinks.
I think Shelvey under Eddie Howe has been amazing.
It's not
reeks.
the worst
He
shout.
absolutely dominated that Wolves game. He controlled that game.
We let him do that.
But I'm saying he dominated you like.
Yeah, he outpassed Martinho.
We don't want to talk about Friday's game.
That's why Martinho hasn't made this team because Shelvey's clear.
Ruben Neves
No.
just wants to be Shelvey.
Yeah.
No, he
He
doesn't.
wants Shelvey's passing.
That's why he's growing his hair to not look like Shelvey.
no, but you have to admit though, like Shelvey, his vision and passing is on the top level of players in the Premier League. It's just his attitude, and he hasn't been consistent. And we're starting to see a consistent John Shelvey. That's why he's getting a new contract supposedly.
I just don't
he's
like
so
him.
good. We're seeing the John Shelvey that we all thought could happen.
The
We
one
just
that
wanna
should
see
have happened for England and Liverpool.
But we're seeing it now. Honestly, I think he's amazing.
Do you think you could go higher than Newcastle right now?
No.
Not now,
That's
but
what I
in
mean,
time.
so-
In time.
But he's a
In
good
time,
player
he's
for
getting
Newcastle.
older now.
No, but if he carries on his consistency, then he could easily step up. Definitely. But for me personally,
Don't know about that.
so I've gone Shelvey, Souček, and Romeo. And I think the problem is with Souček is I don't feel like he's getting discussed at all this season because it's all about Declan Rice.
Because he hasn't got the goals that he did last season.
Yeah, I thought about Souček as well, and
But
I chose against because people rate him. People already rate him. I think they rate him
I don't think
sensibly.
no one's chatting about him anymore because I think it's all Declan Rice gets all of the plaudits because what he's doing. But Declan Rice won't be able to do half things he could do now because Declan Rice is going forward. Souček is doing so much alongside him. He doesn't get mentioned anymore personally, but you can't really get that excited about Souček. But yeah,
I think he's a great player. So I think he's a brilliant player.
Right,
He does a lot for West Ham, but I just think everyone rates him as, sensibly in terms of how good he is.
Well, fair enough. Okay, there's our midfield then. Front three then, guys.
Ooh.
Have you got all? This is now where
I'm just going to reel them off.
I was going to say.
It's not great, this.
See, now this is where I think.
Mbeumo, I think he's been very good for Brentford this year. He
Yeah.
works hard. He's not a goal scorer, but he gives a lot to the team. So, yeah, chuck him in. Iheanacho.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Thought about it. Thought he doesn't do enough for me.
Does he get the opportunities? I don't think he does.
think
He
he
never.
When Vardy was injured, he had a lot
He
of
never
starts.
gets an extended run in the team, and I think his finishing ability is unbelievable.
You saw against United, he played really well against
Yeah,
United.
and I just think there's a player in there somewhere. I don't know if Rodgers is. He's like had him in and out and in. You just need someone to
well, with Vardy coming to
put
the
like
end,
a big show of confidence.
Because
in
he's a clear goal scorer, but if he doesn't score goals, I think he's a waste of space.
I think he's shown. I agree previously, but he has shown a little bit more recently. Little flashes of running with the ball, creating for
holding up
others.
as well. He can hold up the ball quite well.
So I've never seen him hold up the ball
He
before.
backs into players
Is it?
because he's beefed up a bit now
Yeah.
at Leicester.
And then my final one, which was the first name on the underrated team sheet, is Teemo Pookie.
That's a good shout. Do you know what?
He's stung this year.
He scores about 10 goals every season in the Premier League
I've not
for the
rated him this
worst
year.
Premier League team that like
I've not
Norwich
rated him
are
this year at all.
awful, and he always scores goals.
He does. I just don't.
Look at the
rate him.
teams around Pookie.
No,
I can't. I
I
don't
know what
even
you're
know.
saying.
I don't even know who half a Norwich team is. Who's that? Lees Malou. I've never. They come up every year, and I have no idea. But Teemo Pookie still scores goals.
Yeah.
He does score goals, yeah.
I get that. Okay, that's fair enough. And your front three then. So.
I found this really difficult because I think
I
I think forwards.
Jimenez.
No, I think for forwards,
Sedens.
if you're a good forward, you're spoken about and you're not underrated.
Trincao. Carry on.
Trincao, nah. Come on,
I know
man.
you hate. Go on. Then.
Jeez.
Give us your
So
front three.
I've gone for Gordon from Everton. It's been the only bright spot for Everton this year. He's ray of sunshine, drives forward, dribbles, attacks defences.
Okay, yeah. I can
Up and
see.
coming. Good player. I've gone for Origi from Liverpool.
Origi.
Scores massive goals for Liverpool's. Doesn't Liverpool's?
Liverpool's.
I just think he scores huge goals for them. Doesn't get enough game time.
I think Origi's finished now at Liverpool. I can't see him getting a sniff anywhere near that squad anymore.
But if he goes to another team in the Prem, say between the 7th and 14th position, he'd score a lot of goals.
But we've
I'm
never.
not sure.
he would.
I'm not sure he would.
I think
he's
the
a luxury
quality
player.
of the Liverpool squad has made him better, and I think he's reached his.
Because if he went to a side, say for example, like the Wolves. Now this is not me disrespect.
And he was linked with Wolves a few years
if he-
ago.
He's not going to get the quality of supply that he is at Liverpool. You think the kind of players that got whipping balls into him, like he's not going to have a player like Trent constantly whipping the ball in, or Andy Robertson down the other
That's
side.
Samado.
Exactly, that's my point. Size.
From deep.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the Origi show. I think he's a luxury player, and I don't think we'll see him again. In
He's a
Liverpool
luxury
shirt.
player. I think he works hard when he plays for them.
But I'd take Firmino now, Jota over him.
Well, no, obviously, yeah.
But that's the point. He's slowly falling down the pecking order in that attack now. Now they're getting more depth.
Oh yeah, I'm not
in there.
denying that. But
I
I think this year he'll have to move on if he wants to progress his career. I think he scores big goals for them. I think he works hard. He's very quick. He can hold a ball up. I think he's a good striker. But he's not really spoke about that much.
Okay, now mine. I think this is.
Was that 3?
No, I've got one more.
Oh, have you? Sorry.
Yeah, awful. Presenting.
That is bad hosting.
That was bad maths. I thought you did the team.
I mean, you probably think it's distinct to me, but I've gone Daniel Podence.
Oh, we were already taking the mick as well.
No, Daniel Podence, as I said before,
No, I
causes,
like Podence.
causes defences issues. I said before, doesn't get the goals and assists that he should do, but I think that will come as well. I think he's 25, and I think bit of time. Well, another year, he'll start scoring more goals, more assists.
He's a player that I'd never thought he'd suit to the Premier League with his height and build and stuff.
Oh,
but he
he's
has
5'5".
he
You know,
has suited
but some
it.
players can't touch him.
Yeah, that Cruyff turn he does. He sends players absolutely flying.
Oh, the best one we get with Havertz last year, I think. He's still waiting for his taxi now, Havertz. It's great to see.
Oh, okay, so that's your full 11.
Yeah, it's my 11, yeah.
Okay, now I've taken what I believe is underrated, and I've given a little.
This means
reasoning
it's going to
behind.
stink.
No.
Stinky.
So my first one, I'm going to go
Pongs.
on the right, is Saka. And I think Saka is criminally underrated because how he's even in a
Bakary
discussion.
Saka.
No, you can't.
No,
You
but
can't have Saka.
No, let me fit. So Bukayo Saka, just to start off with, he's got more goal contributions than Sancho and Rashford combined, and he's even discussed on the level of Sancho.
United fans.
So United fans, when they discuss these players, I think Saka is clear. What he's doing at his age now I think he's not discussed about enough. He's the leader in that Arsenal side, the guy they go to.
He's the one.
They're reliant, and at the
turn
age
to.
that he is.
That's a weakness of Arsenal, by the way.
I know it's a weakness for Arsenal, but I think we forget how old he is. When you literally, he's the man that everyone relies on. You think Saka's going to provide a spark at that age. I think he's underrated for what he's doing now. 9 goals. I think it's. I've got it here because I thought I'd do a little bit of prep because I knew you guys would not like this. 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 goal contributions from the wing. I think it's amazing. I think he should be discussed as one of the players of the season for any club. I think what he's done this season has been integral to Arsenal. And I know, even with your faces now, you're not convinced still. But
He's not underrated.
He's rated accordingly, as he should be.
But when you think about his age and
He's one of the
everything
top
he's doing,
talents in Europe.
yeah.
Arsenal about to quadruple his wage for a reason.
But he's one of the most highly rated under 21 players in all of Europe.
You know, if you ask me to give me my top 5 under 21 players right now in the world, he's there.
Yeah, but people still put him in the bracket and discuss Saka and Sancho as a debate. I don't think it's a debate.
That's not people. That's the little United millions that want to.
But I think he's closer to the likes of Foden and those.
But there's a reason why Saka started the final in the Euros for England.
Yeah, I just
is rated highly.
I think he's on that top level now, and I didn't. Might be me personally underrated him. I didn't think he was as good as he was, and the level he stepped up, and he can still keep going. I just think he's huge for Arsenal. Then Ivan Toney up top, 12 goals, 4 assists in his first season, 16 goal contributions. He's amazing. I think he's really surprised, and I think he can make the step up to a side like Arsenal. I think he would flourish in a side like that.
Yeah, I'd quite like Toney. Not as the go-to striker, but as an option.
As a backup, I think he'd be amazing.
Again, he's like an old school sort of English forward, isn't he? And I thought about Toney as well, but I thought people rated him accordingly as well.
But I didn't realise he got as many goal contributions as he did.
There's a lot of penalties, though,
Lots
isn't
of
it?
pens,
But
you've got to put the ball in
the
there.
ball in
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And then my final one.
First of all, we're filming with dreads or without dreads?
I don't think I've seen the dreads.
What, the start of the season?
Yeah.
Have you not seen the dreads at the start of the season? Just cut them off recently.
We'll show you off camera after.
Thank you.
You could give your opinion then.
What do you think, Sam?
I'm going to go straight in for dreads, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's got to be dreads.
It's got to be dreads, isn't it?
Yeah, he does. He did look cool. Okay, then my final one, and now this one is I think Mahrez is criminally
You're not
underrated
having Riyad Mahrez.
because I think
Pick another one.
No, because I think he's arguably one of the, if not the greatest winger of all time in the Premier League.
Of all
What
time?
he's achieved-
Get out.
what
We
he's
can't
achieved-
swear on
Get out.
this pod, Sam, but I want to right now.
what he's achieved now at Manchester City and at Leicester. I think he's on that next. I think he's on that
He's
level.
a top goal scorer at Man City.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I think he
He's
should be.
unbelievable for me. Everyone knows he's unbelievable
No,
for
but
me.
I think he's in that bracket now as one of the greats in the Premier League. I think when you look at what he's achieved, he's won everything bar the Champions League now.
He's not underrated.
No, but I think he's
not underrated.
No, because I think he's. If you gave me the choice,
Do you think Pep underrates him?
yes. And I personally, he would be my first player on the team sheet every
He
week.
plays every Champions League game.
No, but if I was building a Prem all-time 11, I would have him in my team.
No, you wouldn't.
You'd
Yes.
have him ahead of Salah.
Yes,
Oh.
Ronaldo in his pomp.
I'd have put Ronaldo on the other side. I would have.
Hazard.
I'd have Mahrez. Mahrez ever?
No.
I would. Mahrez. But it's just me personally.
You're wrong.
That's why I'm saying.
Me and Sari are in agreement. You're not having him because he's not underrated.
We know glove,
And you're
we know
wrong.
ball.
Okay, I'll let you have that. Okay, then. So I thought now we'll quickly run through our 11 just so we can clip these up and then we can see the reactions and then people let us know. Vote in the
You've got
comments.
to change yours though because you're not having Mahrez.
No, I'm sticking with Mahrez. We'll
He's
see what
not
people think.
underrated.
Yeah, but I think he is personally.
Okay then, let's just get silly.
We'll
I'm having Alisson in goal.
Okay.
I want De Bruyne in because
Okay. Do you know what?
I think Foden's underrated as well.
Okay. We'll come back to mine, then I'll think of another
I want
player then.
Samado and Johnny.
You guys just relate. Just say. Okay, then I'll ask.
Son. I'm having Son as
Okay,
well.
I will change. I will say a new winger. If that makes you guys happy, I will say a new winger, and I will say it
Yes, please.
on the spot
Good.
when I reel out my
Is he
11.
allowed Saka, do you reckon?
I think Saka. I think my argument did make sense.
I'll accept Saka if he drops Mahrez,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll drop Mahrez. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Shall I reel through my?
please.
Okay, so I need to think of someone fast now on the spot. Okay, Who do I go for? That is the question. I think I might come to
going through the team, and then you've got to think of it when you get there.
It's going to be someone so left field now. Oh no, this is going to be such a weird shout now. You know, I'm stumbling now to try and push away the. Okay then. No. Okay, so my underrated Premier League 11: Meslier in goal, back four: Samado, Evans, Pinnock, and Cucurella. My midfield three of Shelvey, Souček, and Romeo, and then a front three of Bukayo Saka, Ivan Toney. I can't do this. I changed my mind last minute. And I'm going to go with Richarlison.
Okay.
So, I'll ask Mike or Si, just say literally in the camera.
Okay.
Just look right in the camera.
Underrated 11. Fabianski in goal or Flabianski. Right back, John Stones, as Pep sees him. Centre halves, oh no, it's not Matip, is it? No. Did I have? Craig Dawson and £55 million Rob Holding. Left back, Cucurella. Midfield three, Kouyaté, Klitsch and Romeo. Front three, Iheanacho, Pookie and Mbumo.
And then Si.
My starting 11 of underrated players: Fabianski, Azpilicueta, Webster, Seiss, Trippier, Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse, Kouyaté, Gordon, Origi, Podence.
I think pretty solid, yeah. Let us know, guys, in the comments who's got the best team. And thanks for listening, guys. I think that's everything.